Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be part of your Congress and to be speaking to you. Around the world, countries are facing larger and more expensive disasters. This increase has been driven by climate change, as nearly 90% of disasters are caused by climate-related hazards. And as extreme weather events become more frequent, we expect the number and magnitude of disasters to increase as well. The organization I lead, the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, is charged with helping countries and the UN system adopt a proactive approach to reducing risks before they become disasters. This approach is detailed in an international document, a global agreement adopted by consensus by all UN member states, called the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. The goal of this document is to achieve a reduction in disaster risks and losses by 2030. As we are halfway through its implementation, progress is being made around the development of national and local mechanisms to assess and plan against risks. But the implementation of plans is being hindered by a lack of dedicated funding. As you may know, increasing funding, especially to the least developed climate-vulnerable countries, is a core demand of many countries that are participating in the COP27 climate conference. In this regard, we call on developed countries to meet the commitments they made to double funding for climate adaptation and resilience to help developing countries address the risks they face. That said, many developing countries face challenges in articulating how much funding they need and what areas should be prioritized. In addition, the absence of baseline information on expenditure trends for disaster risk reduction and climate adaptation hampers the analysis of the most cost-efficient way to reduce risks. We recommend that national authorities conduct reviews of public expenditure and budget tracking to better understand current levels of investment. The findings from such reviews would also inform decision makers on where gaps exist to realign budgets with priorities. To help governments conduct reviews and track budgets, a number of tools and methodologies have been developed. One such tool is the OECD Development Assistance Committee Policy Marker for Disaster Risk Reduction. And the UN Development Programme has successfully applied the Climate Public Expenditure and Institutional Review tool in a number of countries. Currently, UNDRR is working with the partners to develop a harmonized approach and methodology for risk reduction and climate adaptation budget tagging. As audit institutions, we hope you will advocate for the adoption of these tools and methods in your work. This includes building the capacity of climate and disaster management agencies and ministries of finance to ensure that these tools are embedded in routine government processes. By working across silos, you can help ensure that funding reaches those who are most vulnerable to climate and disaster risks, thus contributing to the creation of a world with zero climate disasters. I thank you for your attention and wish you a successful Congress.